The retail is trying to understand the use cases of generative AI, talking of insurance, tax, or any other industry, like teaching, education industry. And I believe that the greatest learning is the learning from experiences. So I just see that technology has been revolutionary. Specifically, I see generative AI is transforming the industry. So an advice: just play around with the technology, otherwise you'll be left behind.
Hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to this another episode of Industry Connect. Today we have a very special guest with us, Mokshita Vishish, who is working as the Digital Product and Transformation Manager at PwC. So Mokshita, a very great welcome to you. And why don't you just introduce yourself to the audience?
Thank you, Charu, for calling me here. I'm really excited to be here. It's my pleasure. To introduce myself, as you just mentioned, I work in the digital products and transformation team at PwC. Precisely, I work in the TMT sector. I lead and drive that sector. TMT stands for Technology, Media, and Telecom. It's a huge, huge sector for the firm. We offer a suite of capabilities to our clients to reimagine their business strategies, reinvest in new value chains. Before this, I was also working at Shell. I started my career as a software engineer and then pivoted into product management. So I also have a great inclination towards energy sector. I've spent around 5 years there, and I am really interested in working towards how companies are investing and looking at their carbon credits today. Uh, Talking about my education qualifications, I have done a BTech. I'm a technologist in information technology. I also have a specialization in product management and from Duke Fuqua in decentralized finance. Just giving a one-liner about my hobbies, I like reading books a lot. I do abstract writing as well, little bit of painting here and there. So mostly creativity is one of my hobbies. Yeah, that's it.
Great. Yeah. So, Mokshita, you have a great experience of working with the technology sector. You have like worked with some very great technology companies like Shell, and you are already working with PwC. So, Mokshita, you have witnessed this massive reform in the technology sector. Can you tell us about some of the most significant disruptions in the technology sector, which from your personal experience?
Definitely. So I just see that technology has been revolutionary, or also evolutionary, if I would say. We started with a wooden wheel, and then we saw the era of steam engine, mechanical and electrical engine. Then internet came in with internet, and then another technological disruptions like we saw blockchain, we saw metaverse coming in, and today is the era of generative AI. So technology has been there around since man came into existence, but today specifically I see generative AI is transforming the industry. We see companies, firms, startups, students, all playing around with this technology, trying to develop some applications around it. So that's pretty much that I see around today. But having said that, it doesn't mean that metaverse has gone away or blockchain has gone away. It's a tech radar that's there. There are some technologies that you focus just at the moment, say 0 to 1 year. Then there are technologies who have an impact after a year, and that may last for another 3 years. Then there are technologies that will have a greater impact in the far future, like 3+ years. So depending upon the impact of the technologies, companies are currently working and experimenting with these, and they are trying to develop new applications that can help us with a better lifestyle.
Right, right. Mokshita, as you have rightly said, that all the companies and businesses are moving towards technology, businesses are developing new applications. But still, I feel that there are some businesses which are struggling to cope up with these rapid changes. So, what advice would you give to those businesses?
I would say that there's a saying that if you don't play around what is going into the market right now, you are left behind, right?
Right.
So it's not possible for a firm individually to do everything together, right? Companies have to start experimenting heavily with these technologies. A, B, if they can't produce, and most firms cannot produce a end-to-end product or a platform offering for their customers on their own. So there are alliances, there are partnerships, there are startup ecosystems where they can invest. But the root cause is that today companies need to understand and identify where these technologies can help align with the vision of the company or the strategic goals of their companies, and then heavily invest in the tech resources, the talent pool, which is very important, who can build on these technologies for the firm. So an advice: just play around with the technology, otherwise you'll be left behind.
Right, right. And that's a very interesting point, Mokshita. So, Mokshita, as we can see that today, like all the companies are inherently becoming technology companies, and the lines between various industries are increasingly blurring. So, can you elaborate more on the converging business models and like where are we heading now?
Oh, absolutely. I totally believe that today synergies of these capabilities are coming together. Uh, Companies, so, I'll just tell a few stories. I see that, Netflix earn a huge amount of its revenue from its wallet. So
Okay.
despite being an FMCG company, it gets a huge revenue from the fintech technology that it has, invested in or it has created. Similarly, we see a lot of companies coming together, doing a play together. Uh, to name a few, we have noticed Meta or Netflix as a company going towards game streaming, right? So today, HP does not want to be known just as a laptop or a PC company. It also wants to be known as a services company. So it wants to enhance its service based model as well. So a lot of companies are coming together. They are producing platform offerings that I would like to tell. Uh, Silos is not an option today, right? If you are working in silos, it is not going to work out. Just giving a recent example, Geo has invested in a hardware company to start up a manufacturing hub in Chennai in India. So, Geo, which is a telco, but it can power the chip manufacturing with its 5G capabilities. Now, something great can come out of this. So, this is the convergence model that is happening today, where the power of one company can be leveraged by another, and together they can produce an ecosystem offering for their customers.
Great. Yeah. So as you gave some examples of Netflix, Meta, HP, those are moving towards convergence. So can you think of any risks that these businesses should be aware of when they are navigating through these convergence?
Uh, Definitely, when new business models are formed, new risks emerge, right? Even with
Correct.
generative AI, OWASP has listed down its new vulnerabilities that are just focused upon the LLM model applications, right? So when these companies come together, they need to also identify whether it's the right way or the right partnership that they are coming into. Now, I'll just give a simple example in my company itself. When we pitched our CEO around the generative AI and the application, and what we want to do around it, he just asked us one question: is it just the similar fad like a metaverse? Now today we see that leaders and CEOs are worried, and they want to
Right.
understand which technology they should invest in. 2 years ago it was metaverse, a few years ago it was blockchain. It's still there, but they are confused where to invest. So as a firm or as a company, the risk that stands in front of them is to identify the right technology they should invest in. It should match their goals as a firm or their strategic vision of the organization. So that is one thing that I would, that I feel that the leaders should be very vigilant about.
Yeah, good. So that's a good point, Mokshita. So since you have you have been talking about the emerging technologies like AI, blockchain, and those are in like headlines for quite a few period of time. So can you tell us some of their use cases or some of their potential benefits, and if there are any such limitations with these technologies, can you also mention some of those limitations?
Definitely. So, talking about generative AI, it's taking the industry with a swarm, right? Every industry, I would say, the retail is trying to, understand the use cases of generative AI, talking of insurance, tax, or any other industry, like teaching, education industry, everybody is trying to explore new use cases. One of the examples is Khan Academy. They have launched their Khan Migo, which is again a generative AI application that they have built, right? Then there are talking of McKinsey. McKinsey has opened up its whole new department called as the Quantum Black, where the people inside that company are working towards generating generative AI applications for their clients. So everybody have now started identifying a specific department or a specific outlook towards how they can leverage generative AI in their current model. Apart from this, one more emerging technology that I would like to talk about is the immersive technology of AR, VR, XR. Snapchat is not just a D2C company, alone. While most of us might not be knowing it, but Snapchat filters are also, utilized for, I would say, enterprise solutions as well. Companies like Mintra, Flipkart, talking of Lenskart, all of these are using AR filters for their consumers to give them a better immersive experiences, right? So these are a couple of examples that came to my mind, regarding these. Talking of limitations, I will give it a different look, not the limitations of the technology, but when we talk about these emerging technologies, are these a limitation to the existing talent pool? Are the talent pool going to lose their job? Now that might be a question, but I strongly believe no, right? With the technology coming into play, there are new jobs that come into play as well. So it's more about upskilling. And while these technologies can help, the people around to have a better lifestyle, reduce, the manpower, the manual work, and increase the productivity, there is still the human touch that is required. And and upskilling is required to use these technologies.
Yes. So, since Mokshita, you have been into this sector for a long period of time. So, from your personal experience, like as a woman, I want to understand what is the role of women in the technology sector, and what are some of the challenges that women face in the technology sector, and how should they overcome those challenges?
Now, this is like a very beautiful question. Being a woman, I would love to answer for that. Historically, women were, considered to be the homemakers, and men were the ones who were the bread earners. It took time, but women have entered into the industry. They are working. They have also entered into the tech industry. The ratio is still, very very far as compared to men, but we still see women coming into tech. But the major concern, and as per the reports and statistics that I read around, a lot of women, even though they enter the industry and they take tech jobs, they tend to drop out of their jobs because they want to take care of their family. And that is one concerning point. It should not be that you can only get one thing at a time. And I feel here the role of mentors, the leaders play a heavy, it plays a great role here, right? So I would advise women, in tech, women who are working and who are aspirational to, be in the tech industry, that, you should seek out for mentors, leaders who can, help you identify the right, the right way you can balance both the things, at a go. So that's one thing. I have done that a lot. I'm doing it currently as well. I was heading IEEE WEI, which stands for Women in Engineering, in my university, and it was a chapter in the university specifically for women, where all of us in the tech industry did exactly the same thing that was done in the other IEEE chapter, which was mostly male headed. So this was one chapter which was headed, run, and completely by women. So it's all about identifying the opportunities, grabbing them, and then making sure that you have the right leadership in place, and or a mentor in place who can help you with the struggles or the challenges on the way.
So, Mokshita, like that were some really great insights from you. I'm really hoping that these insights will be helpful to the audience. But before we conclude this interview, would you like to give some concluding thoughts to our audience?
Sure, definitely. So it was a good, it was a great experience to be here talking to you, sharing my stories. And I believe that the greatest learning is the learning from experiences, right? So I would give a huge shout out to you, Charu, and your team for, making this happen, getting the leaders from the industry to speak and share their experiences. This will help people, learn a lot, and then maybe, find something which, can help them in their careers as well. So I would, advise everybody to look out for this space and, for more such conversations.
Thank you, Mokshita, for these grateful words. Thank you, everyone, for joining this session. Please stay tuned for our next upcoming sessions, and also please give some suggestions on what different type of topics we should cover in the upcoming sessions. So till that time, stay tuned. Bye bye. Thanks, Mokshita.
Thank you.